All right, Ty, welcome to the Agile Marketing Alliance Member Spotlight.
Thanks, Jim. Nice to see you.
It's good to see you. So start by telling me the story about how you came to adopt Agile marketing. What triggered your interest and what did you do when you first got started?
Yeah, there's a few parts to the story. I'd say the first exposure to Agile was actually by stealth or camouflage. I was working at London Business School. I was a marketing manager. I had an integrated sales and marketing team of about 7 or 8 people, and I reported to a sales director. And I say kind of Agile by stealth because I don't think she or I knew it was Agile at the time. But Mary Green, she was amazing, kind of motivational lady, and she had a sales background. So start of each week, she'd do a daily huddle, get everyone together, give an update on what the numbers were and ask everyone what we were going to do for that week. And then every morning, daily huddle, update on numbers. What did we do yesterday? What are we going to do today?
Right.
And then the best part was the end of the week, about 4 o'clock, Mary would kind of call out and say, Tyrone, is the bar open yet? And that'd be cue for me checking the fridge is stocked, and we'd do a bit of a retro and review and go through what we achieved for the week and celebrate that. And it was, the transparency and the collaboration was a great way to keep the team in lockstep, especially a team that small. So that was my first exposure. I guess fast forward a few years, I was associate director at Curtin Uni, and Deloitte came in to do org-wide transformation. I joined them as the internal lead for marketing and restructured the entire portfolio from decentralized to centralized. Through that, I got exposed to lean. So I did a lot of lean process mapping of the different marketing functions. So that opened my eyes to the power of lean. And then I had the joy of actually implementing that transformation. I got promoted to chief marketing officer, and suddenly I was running a team of 70 marketeers. We'd gone from decentralized to centralized. And soon I started seeing the bottlenecks, the silos, the frustrations of the team, not being able to run fast. And we were in a highly competitive market, and I just knew there had to be a better way. So I quickly, started researching, self-educating, read books like Lean Startup, Hacking Marketing, and then thought, let's give this a try. So trained the whole team in Agile and kind of rolled it out across the team of 70.
Well, how did you organize those teams? You mentioned the silos and all those issues. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you form cross-functional teams? What did you do? I'm really curious.
Yeah. Wherever possible, we form cross-functional teams. So we trained the team in it, and then we set up a pilot squad. And the first squad was a cross-functional team. We had a digital producer, like a marketing manager, a tech rep, a writer, and they were charged with launching Marketo. So they got trained in Marketo. We had an onboarding partner come on board, and then they just went for it. They picked an audience segment, post-grad, and within 3 weeks we're up and running, rolling out post-grad conversion campaigns in Marketo. So they were kind of the beacon. And then we had other cross-functional teams like faculty. They'd be like a business unit kind of partner. They would have a small squad of 3 working cross-functionally. But then we had some teams that were still specialists. So, we had video teams and writing and design. So they remained specialists, but they switched their work mode from managing things in, giant spreadsheets and 2-hour-long status meetings to implementing, we changed our tech stack to Rike, visual Kanban boards. They were having daily stand-ups. We had physical and digital boards around the rooms, and transformed the way we worked.
What were some of the benefits of doing that, and what were some of the challenges in organizing that way?
The benefits were, the speed. So where we did have small cross-functional teams, just their ability to execute and produce. So Marketo, out in 3 weeks, that wouldn't have happened
That's a record.
any other way, I don't think. And, we even took really large projects that are typically waterfall, like Open Day, which is, a massive event for universities. We attract 27,000 people. There's hundreds of event stalls. It takes 6 to 8 months of planning. And we said, how can we do this using Scrum? So we got together a cross-functional Scrum team. And instead of this one project manager kind of cracking the whip and trying to coordinate so many people to do stuff, we had a massive whiteboard, scrum board. We had daily huddles, and everyone was coming together with, this is what I've done, this is what we have to do next. And it just took the pressure off her, and there was no, you know, weeks of time off in lieu. We had brochures and maps and things done weeks early. Everyone identified the interdependencies, whereas before, when it was so waterfall, you know, we couldn't start something until the design or writing team had done something. Now, when they're working in parallel, we identified all those interdependencies a little bit better.
Right.
And, you know, long story short, it just increased the engagement of the team, the productivity of the team, the transparency. And we got acknowledged as the kind of Australian Marketing Team of the Year by AMI and the Australian Marketing Institute. And I think Agile had a big part in that.
So that all sounds great. There must have been some challenges. Okay. What were some of the challenges that you ran into?
Yeah, of course. I think I'd say just working out the scaling model and the framework and exactly how it would be run. So that gap between the first training and then the implementation. We knew we wanted to set up a pilot squad. So Marketo worked really well. And we allowed the team to kind of test and learn. So to go set up their Kanban boards and choose a framework that would work for them. And that worked well. But I think at one stage we tried to get too dogmatic. And, you know, I tried to put in calendar invites for this is when you should have your stand-up and your, you know, your sprint planning and your sprint retro, and trying to force it on people like that didn't work. We needed to allow them to embrace it. And yeah, it was so enlightening when I knew there were some teams that I thought would push back on it because of that transparency. But yeah, when I suddenly started seeing them having huddles around the computer screen with a visual Kanban board up, yeah, that was when it was powerful and quite rewarding.
Yeah.
How
do you get people to take more chances and not be afraid of, you know, failure, in quotes, right? What I'm really asking is about how did you create a learning culture where failure was seen not as a bad thing, but as an opportunity to learn?
Yeah, I think it started a couple of years before, maybe not a couple, it would have been a couple of years before we actually rolled out Agile. I started running hackathons because I wanted to create a safe environment for the team to test and learn and rapidly prototype. You know, in university land, the life cycles of most projects are pretty long, and it's kind of a bit like Groundhog Day each year. Okay, here's semester 1 intake, semester 2 intake, open day.
Right.
And the team was always so under the pump, we often didn't get time to think, how could we do something radically different in a safe environment? So yeah, we ran 1.5 to 2 day hackathons each year. We'd have a problem statement like, how do we inspire people to choose Curtin in a different way? And we'd bring in undergrad students, postgrad students or alumni, staff from across the business, our agency partners, and just give them the space to come up with an idea, form a cross-functional team, quickly test that, get some customer data and produce a presentation of their idea at the end to an industry panel. And it was amazing, Jim. Like one of the first events, we had Year 9 students in there sharing the pain points of universities, where each university would come out, say the same thing, how wonderful your campus is and how to get in and all these things, not giving any consideration to the time of the year, to what the students are feeling, what stress and pressure they're under. So yeah, this team came up with this idea to go out to high schools and take some puppies at this was before Uber Pups and that, at a stressful time when these students had just got their year 12 results, and just share with them this experience to reduce some stress. And then it was backed up, it was called Curtin People Under Pressure at School. And it was backed up by a whole bunch of learning resources and online community to reduce pressure and give kids the chance to, some study tips and advice but the best part was it just created this really lovely experience for them and connected them to our brand in a totally different way. And then we rolled that out to different schools. We brought the pups to open day. So I think that was it, creating that culture, that test and learn environment in and that safe environment was a big factor in it.
That's such a great idea. I mean, it's such a creative thing. Who would have thought to bring puppies, you know, to a school and you know, it might have failed, but it didn't. So, you know, and if good on you to be able to do that and to allow them to experiment in that way.
Yeah. But if I can add a couple more, I think in the business I've been running a few years, consulting that I do now. What I've started to do is when I do agile marketing training, I do a one-day high performance marketing teams training first.
Right.
And that's about the mindset and the framework of what a high performance team is. And there's a couple of topics covered in that, like growth mindset, like being open and curious and learning. Sure. And the other one's psychological safety. And how do you create that safety in the team to raise ideas, admit mistakes?
Yeah.
So I think the agile marketing principles and values are fantastic as well, the test and learn embedded in that. But I think if you can somehow train the team in growth mindset and inform them about psychological safety, that's key. And then, of course, your reviews and retros where you can kind of constantly learn and improve.
Yeah. Agile is so much more than just the processes or the principles or the values. As you say, it is also a mindset, and that's so important.
Yeah.
Well, Ty, thanks so much for sharing your wisdom with our members today. I've really enjoyed our conversation.
You're welcome, Jim, and thanks for all the amazing work you're doing with the community and your training. And it's been fun being part of it.